Ugh. Mm. Oh. So, guys, Gog and Magog are figures in biblical prophecy representing hostile anti-God forces that emerge in the end. Anti-God forces that emerge in the end times to battle God's people before being destroyed. Originating in Ezekiel 38 to 39 as a leader, Gog from a land Magog. The terms often signify a final massive coalition against divine authority, mirroring a similar conflict in Revelation. Ezekiel 38 to 39, Gog is depicted as a person, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and Magog is his land, generally located in the far north of Israel. They are portrayed as assembling a massive coalition of nations to invade a peaceful Israel. John the Revelator uses Gog and Magog to represent all nations from the four corners of the earth who align against God. After a 1,000-year period resulting in their destruction, symbolism throughout history, they have been identified with various groups, including Scythians, the Turks, the 10 lost tribes, or generalized northern barbarians. Quran, known as Yajud and Majud, they are described as fierce tribes shut away by a giant wall built by Dhul-Qarnayn, only to reappear as a sign of the last day. While some interpret these events as literal future battles, others, particularly with Jewish tradition, view them as apocalyptic symbols of the ultimate struggle between good and evil. They're often associated with the apocalyptic final battle at the end of the times. Uh, Okay, so Gog and Magog are figures that appear in the religious texts of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and they're almost always portrayed as hostile forces that will emerge to fight against God's people at the end of time. While they started as a leader and a land in the Old Testament, they have evolved into symbols of archetypal evil, and a pair of legendary giants in various cultural traditions. In the book of Ezekiel, Gog is a person, the prince of the lands of Meshech and Tubal. I think this is where Islam and Christianity actually differ, because Islam believes Gog and Magog are both tribes, whereas Christianity believe that Gog is actually a leader from Magog. Magog is a place. In the book of Ezekiel, Gog is a person, the prince of the lands of Meshech and Tubal, and Magog is the name of his land. They're prophesied to lead a vast coalition to invade Israel in the latter days, only to be defeated by divine intervention. Christianity, okay, the book of Revelation presents them together as Gog and Magog, representing all the nations of the world that Satan will deceive into a final futile battle against God's kingdom after a 1,000-year period of peace. After a 1,000-year period of peace, it means that's not right now, because if it was right now, then Israel is not peaceful. We know that for sure. So it means Israel would have to be peaceful for like 1,000 years before Gog and Magog actually appear. Islam, known as Yajud and Majud, they're described as two wild and destructive tribes according to Islamic tradition. A righteous ruler named Dhul-Qarnayn built a massive iron and copper wall to trap them. It is believed that they will break through this barrier near the Day of Judgment to cause widespread chaos before being destroyed by God. Alexander the Great. Many medieval legends include the Alexander Romans claim that the Alexander built the gates of Alexander in the Caucasus Mountains to keep the barbaric nations of Gog and Magog from invading civilized lands. The Giants of London. In British folklore, Gog and Magog are depicted as two legendary giants. Carved effigies of the giants have been traditionally kept at the Guildhall in London and are still featured in the annual Lord Mayor's Show historical identifications. Throughout history, various groups have been identified as Gog and Magog by their contemporaries, including the Scythians, Huns, Mongols, and Vikings. Modern interpretations often speculate about their identity, with some identifying Russia, Turkey, or Iran as the modern day Gog. Would you like to explore this? No, 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 no,